Hey everyone, welcome back to my shop, Craig Woodworking here. Today's episode, we're going to be taking this blank and turning it into this bowl. Let's learn how to do it. Alright, we got the lathe rolled out here. I'm going to be using a new lathe actually. I just recently picked up this Laguna. The reason why I got this lathe is because it's mobile, it fits well, I can tuck it up against the wall when I'm not using it. Many of my tools have wheels on the bases so that I can stow them away when I'm not using them. Alright, let's go over what else we're going to need to use. As for our lathe tool, the main one we're going to be using, in fact probably the only one we're going to be using, is this R2 rounded carbide one. I think I got this one, yeah, this is our Rockler one. Really you can make a lot with this. You can do a lot with just this tool here. Another thing we're going to be using is this chuck, this Jacob's chuck. It creates a strong connection on the tenon, especially when it's dovetailed. And that's key, especially when you're only using it when you're fastening on one side and you don't have it pinched between centers here. We'll go over more of that later. So let's get started. Let's get that blank. The bowl blank here, I marked one side with a B because that's the side I would like to have the bottom on, or it'd be the bottom of the bowl. And then, so as you can see, I chose this because of the grain. So if you look at the grain, you can really look at the bowl, try to figure out which way you would like. Either way it would look. Would work fine on this one, but I think I'm gonna go with that orientation right now. All right, you got your bowl blank. What do? Well, you gotta find center. So let's go ahead and find center on these things. Well, first thing before you get to this point is you're actually gonna have to rough cut the bowl. It just makes it easier, less to do on the lathe itself. I did this on the bandsaw, very rough. After you do that, you can find centers. I use one of these jigs, one of these things to find centers. Make a little mark here, rotate it around. On something circular like this that isn't a perfect round shape, I tend to make more marks than I need. And then just wherever the most of them line up, I use that as a rough center. So you can do that on both sides. All right, let's put this between centers. When first mounting this bowl, I like to have the side with the bottom, or the side that will have the tenon on it, face away from the motor. I'm gonna put it up like this. So there we go. We have the bowl blank between centers. Okay, now you have it between centers, so what's next? Well, next is you have to actually move your tool rest to the workpiece. Let's go ahead and do that. Move over the tool rest over to your workpiece. You don't want to be super close because you don't want this to run into the tool rest. You might end up breaking it. I like to start off with maybe a ½ inch or a little under a ½ inch away. Once you think you're there, go ahead and give your workpiece a spin. Just make sure it's not going to interfere with anything or hit your tool rest. All right, that looks good. Let's true up the blank. Good idea to put on some safety glasses. The first couple bites, first couple cuts you do for the first time ever can be intimidating. Just take it slow, don't shove the tool into the piece, just rest it on. And once you start hearing contact, hang out there for a little bit and just go across. You may need to adjust as you go. That whoop, 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 whoop. It means it's not completely flat, and you can feel it too, or you can hear it. So let's go ahead and true up this blank real fast. This one's shooting a lot. I'm gonna switch to a face shield. Hear that? We're getting closer to perfectly round. Let's keep going. All right, now that we have the side is pretty much perfectly round, let's go ahead and try to flatten up go ahead and flatten up these sides right here. Yeah, switch to a face shield. I don't like getting hit in the face with chips. Sometimes it's just not fun. All right, so now we have it all trued up. So what's next? Next is actually start shaping the bowl. This is where you can decide if you want to keep it square or keep it tall bowl like this, or make it more of a classic rounded side. We're gonna go kind of a classic shape where it's gonna be tapered rounded here, but we're also gonna have to put a tenon on the bottom, so keep that in mind. So depending on what chuck you have, your tenon's gonna be different sized. Just keep trying it, keep going until you get a good fit. All right, let's go ahead and shape it and continue going. As I'm shaping the outside, I like to wash the opposite side of my tool. So if my tool is on this side where I am, I keep my eyes right about over here so I can see the shape that I'm creating. It's looking great so far. Look at that grain. It's gonna be a pretty bowl. All right, let's keep working. All right, rough shape is there. Time to start making the tenon over here. I did switch to the S2, the square end one, just to help with the tenon here, by the way. It's a good idea to test the tenon to see if it's gonna fit your chuck. Still got a ways to go. Almost there. Fits. Now that we got the tenon fit, the tenon size to fit properly, let's go ahead and finish shaping the outside of the bowl here. All right, I really like that shape, so what I'm gonna do now is take a couple light passes across, very light, just to help reduce some sanding later on. Well, there we go. We got the outside shaped. Let's flip it around, put the next chuck on, and start hollowing out the inside. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool bowl. Bowl. Put it up. put it in. Make it tight on one side, rotate it, tighten it up on the other side. To begin hollowing out the middle, sometimes I will use a Forstner bit here, but we're gonna try to go limited tools here, so I'm just gonna go straight with what we have here. So I'm gonna bring the tailstock back up just to give some extra support as we're hollowing out. Let's move you around so you can get a better view. Make sure everything's locked down again. And let's start hollowing it out. Again here, when I'm shaping, I like to keep my eyes on the opposite side of where my tool is, because then you can really see what kind of cuts you're making and how's it going. So just keep your eye over there. Now it's time to start getting rid of this middle piece right here. When it hops like that, you're done. And then finish shaping out, hollowing out the middle. To see if I'm going too deep or not deep enough, I usually just go by feel. So I'll just take my hand, feel it pretty thick still here, thick, really thick on the bottom. So I'm gonna try to even this out a little more. At this point, it's a very good idea to keep checking your progress to make sure you're not making your walls too thin. Just like on the outside, we're gonna take some slight passes on the inside just to help with sanding. And there you go. All the cutting is done with these tools. Next, to switch over to some sandpaper, sand through the grits just to get it all perfectly smooth, and then we'll come back when it's time to put some finish on it. Whew, dusty. Now that's all sanded, comes the fun part, finish. This is really fun when you go put finish on. The grain really pops, and I have a feeling this one's gonna look amazing. So, let's bring you in closer and do it. And by the way, some of you might be wondering, what is this on my lathe right now? This is just a piece of scrap leather that I had from a couple projects ago. I put it down because I do spray water in between grits. It just kind of helps raise the grain, helps it be a little smoother. Also, I don't want rust on my lathe. It's a new lathe to me, so yeah, I just put something down like this. It's great for finishing and everything else. All right, let's bring you in closer for the finish. Now I do plan on eating out of this, so I'm gonna go with a food safe finish that I know works, which is just mineral oil. Now you can get this at your grocery store or a drugstore just for a few bucks. Works great and also makes it look nice. Now it's not a durable finish, you may have to reapply a few times every now and then, but hey, it's up to you. It's your bowl, you can do what you want. This is what I want to do, so I'm gonna do it. Let's put the finish on. Just using a shop towel, put some on. Doesn't matter how much, and then just, oh yeah. Look at that. Let that soak in. Reapply a few coats. You can do 2 to 3 coats if you want. Looks nice. We'll let that soak in, come back and reapply a few more coats. All right, 2 coats soaked in. I'm gonna do 1 more and then let it soak in, and then we'll cut it off and be done. All right, we're back. We're gonna cut off the bowl now. 3 coats of finish, mineral oil again. And all I'm gonna do to cut this off is use a flush trim saw. Easy. Well, there you go. Cut it off. Got this beautiful bowl. Now for the bottom, I might hit this with a plane or just a chisel just to make it nice and flat so that it sits properly when using. But that's pretty much it, we're done. Well, there you go. The bowl's done. Hope you enjoyed this video. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to let you know whenever we put out a new video. Also, if you like this, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up and it'll help the channel out. And leave a comment on the bottom if you haven't already. It's always fun to make things with your hands. Alright, enjoy. Have a good one, y'all. Okay. Time to clean up the shop. This is fun.